9.7 times 9.8. We look at the numbers diagonally. 98 minus 3, that is 95. Or we can look at this way. 97 minus 2, that is also 95. Now we multiply by the reference number, which is 100. And now you multiply these two numbers. 3 times 2 is 6. So the answer is 9500 plus 6. That's going to be 9506. And we put the decimal after two digits from the right. So the answer is 95.06. Stop. If you are multiplying decimals the slow way, you are wasting time. What if I told you there is a genius trick that lets you do it 10 times faster without a calculator? Let's get started. Say we are multiplying two decimals, 1.3 and then 1.4. So 1.3 times 1.4, let's see what is the answer. To find the answer, we look at the nearest reference number. So what is the nearest reference number to 13 and 14? So we look at both these decimals as just numbers. So 1.3 we look at as 13, 1.4 and we assume as 14. And now 13 and 14, so which number is the nearest reference number? So we take that as 10. So 10 is the reference number that's nearby 13 and 14. And now how much 13 more than 10? So it's 3 more, we write as plus 3. And then we look at 14. How much 14 more than 10? That's 4 more, we write plus 4. And now we look at the numbers diagonally. And now you can see 14 plus 3. So 14 plus 3 is 17. We can write 17 here. Or we can look at this way, 13 plus 4, also 17. All right. And now you're going to multiply this number by the reference number. As you see, that reference number is 10. So we do 17 times 10. And now this should be added to, you multiply these two numbers here, 3 times 4 plus 3 times plus 4. That's going to be plus 12. We write here. Now 17 times 10, that's 170 plus 1, 2. So 170 plus 12, that's going to be 182. All right. Now we look at both the decimals. You can see that after the decimal point, we have one number here. In this, after decimal, we have one number. So basically, we put a point from the right side after two digits. Okay, so since here after decimal one number, here after decimal one number, basically we are putting a decimal point after two digits from the right. Now what is the answer? So the answer is going to be 1.82. So 1.3 times 1.4, the answer is 1.82. All right. Now let's look at the next question. Let's solve that using this trick and let's calculate what is the answer. Say we are doing an example 1.9. Let's take that 1.9 times, say we are doing 1.8. So what is the answer? Again, we look at these two numbers as 19 and 18. So which number is the nearest to 19, 18? So we again take the same number 10. That's the reference number to 19 and 18. Now, how much 19 greater than 18? So it's 9 greater, right? 9 more. I can just say that as plus 9. And now, how much 18 more than 10? So it's 8 more. We write as plus 8. Again, we look at the numbers diagonally. 18 plus 9. That is 27. Right? Or you can look at this way. 19 plus 8. Also 27. Right? Now we multiply 27 by the reference number. Here the reference number is 10. So you multiply 27 by 10. And now that should be added to here 9 times 8 plus 9 times plus 8. That's going to be 72. Now we simplify this. So 27 times 10, that's 270 plus 72. So 270 plus 72, when we add this together, you get 342. Now what is the answer? We need to put the decimal point here. As you can see again in the question, 1.9. Here, after decimal, there is one digit. Here also the same, after decimal, there is one digit. So basically, we put the decimal after two digits from the right. So which means the answer is what? 3.42, right? So the answer is 3.42. So when you multiply 1.9 and 1.8, the answer is 3.42. Now, let's look at the next question and calculate what is the product of those two decimals, and let's see if still 10 is the reference number for those two numbers. Example we take here 3.8. Say we are multiplying by the number 3.4. Let's see what is the answer for this. Now, we look at these two numbers as 38, 34, right? So which number is nearest to 38 and 34? You can take it as 40. So basically the reference numbers are 10, 20, 30, 40 and so on, right? The easiest reference numbers are 10, 100, 1000 and so on. But here 38 and 34, we can take the reference number as, maybe we can take that as 30. So you can see that 30 is the reference number to these two numbers. And now 38, how much 38 more than 30? It's 8 more, we write plus 8. And now the next number is 34. How much 34 more than 30? So it's 4 more, we write as plus 4. Again, now we look at the numbers diagonally. 34 plus 8, which is 42. Or you can look this way, 38 plus 4, also 42. And now you multiply this by the reference number. Here the reference number is 30. Alright, so now we have to multiply these two numbers. 8 times 4 plus 8 times plus 4, that's going to be 8 times 4 is 32. You write as plus 32 here. And now we simplify this. We are multiplying 42 by 30. Anyways, we get 0 at the end, right? Just you multiply 42 by 3, which would be 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. You get 1260 added to 32. Now 1260 plus 32, that's going to be 1292. All right. And now we look at placing the decimal point. As you can see that here after the decimal point, we have one digit. Here also the same. So basically two digits here. So we put the decimal point after two digits from the right. So what is the answer? The answer is going to be 12.92. So that's the answer. So when you multiply 3.8 and 3.4, the answer is 12.92. All right. Let's do the next question and calculate what is the product of those two decimal numbers. Say we are multiplying 5.2. Let's take a decimal 5.2 times we are doing 5.7. Now let's see what is the answer. Now you can see that we look at these two numbers as 52 and 57. What is the nearest reference number? You can take the number as 50, as 50 is the nearest reference number to both these numbers. You can still take it as 60, but now I take 50. That's the nearest reference number to both these numbers. And now we look at the first number, 52. How much 52 more than 50? So it's 2 more, you write plus 2. And the next number is 57. How much 57 more than 50? It's 7 more, you just write plus 7. And now we look at the numbers diagonally. So 57 plus 2, that's going to be 59. Or you can look at 52 plus 7, that is also 59. And now you're going to multiply this by the reference number, which is 50 here. Again, now you're going to multiply these two numbers. Plus 2 times plus 7, that's going to be plus 14. All right. Now we simplify this. As you can see, 59 times 50, as it ends with 0, you can still add a 0 at the end. Now just have to multiply 59 by 5. 59 times 5, that's going to be 295. So 2950 added to 14. Now what is the answer? So when you add these two up, you get 2964. Again, now we look at these two numbers. So after the decimal point, you have one digit here. Here after decimal, you have one digit. So in total, two digits. So we put the decimal point after two digits from the right. Now what is the answer for this question? 29.64. So that is the product of 5.2 and 5.7. All right. Now let's look at another question, and we take a different reference number and let's see what is the product. Say we are taking 9.7 as the first decimal and we are multiplying that by 9.8. Let's see what is the answer. Now again, we look at these two numbers as 97 and 98. You can see that 100 is the nearest reference number to these two numbers. How much 97 less than 100? As you see that 97 is not more than 100, it's less than 100. Now how much 97 less than 100? It's 3 less, you write as minus 3. If it is more, we write plus. If it is less, we write as minus. And now look at the next number, 98. How much 98 less than 100? It's 2 less, you write as minus 2. Now we look at the numbers diagonally. 98 minus 3, that is 95. All right. Or you can look this way. 97 minus 2, also 95. Now you multiply this by the reference number, which is 100 here. So the reference number is 100. You're going to multiply 95 by 100. And now you're going to multiply these two numbers. So it's minus 3 times minus 2. That's going to be plus 3 times 2 is 6, right? We just write 6 here. Now we simplify this. 95 times 100, that's going to be 9500. And you add 6 to this. So the answer for this is 9506. And now again, we look at the question. After the decimal point, you have one decimal. Here also after decimal point, we have one decimal. In total, two decimals, two numbers after decimals. So you put the decimal point here after two digits from the right. Now what is the answer to this question? So it's 95.06. The product of 9.7 and 9.8 is 95.06. Now let's take another question and let's see what is the product, and let's look at what is the reference number for those two numbers. Say we are taking now 9.2 as the first decimal and we are multiplying this by 10.1. So what is the product? Now when you look at these two numbers, 92 and 101, as you can see that 100 is the nearest reference number to these two numbers. And now look at the first number, 92. How much 92 less than 100? It's 8 less, we put as minus 8. And the next number is 101. How much 101 more than 100? It's 1 more, you write as plus 1. And now we look at the numbers diagonally. 101 minus 8, that's going to be 93. Or we can look this way, 92 plus 1 is also 93. And now we multiply 93 by the reference number, which is 100 here. And now you're going to multiply these two numbers. Minus 8 times plus 1. That's going to be minus 8 times 1 is 8. You get this as minus 8. And now we simplify this. 93 times 100, that's going to be 9300 minus 8. So 9300 minus 8, that's going to be 9292, right? 9292. And now we should place the decimal point. As you can see that here, after the decimal point, we have one digit. Here we have one digit after decimal. So basically 2 digits after we need to put a decimal point here. So which means the answer is 92.92. That's the product of these two decimals, 9.2 and 10.1. And that's it. Now you know how to multiply decimals faster than ever with this insanely easy trick. But don't stop here. The more you practice, the faster you'll get. So try solving a problem yourself and drop your answer in the comments. I'll be checking and replying to as many as I can. If this trick helped you, smash the like button, share it with your friend, and subscribe for more mind-blowing math hacks. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.